Today on Sledhead 24/7, you can never be too safe when riding in the mountains. We'll attend Skidoo's Avalanche Awareness Course to learn the do's and don'ts of backcountry riding. Polaris has made more refinements to the Rush Pro R. We'll show you why we voted it best in class for 2013. Amsoil has what you need for your snowmobile and your truck. A little maintenance goes a long way. And professional backcountry rider Sahen Skinner tells us about the new mountain riding gear from FXR. The Sled-X build is in full force. We'll check in with Speedwerx as the build begins with aftermarket products from the best in the industry. Sledhead 24/7 starts now.
I'm your host, Misha Johnson, here with my boys, Mac and Fish. Oh my goodness, what have you guys gotten into?
Last thing left, I think we gotta just see if it runs.
Greetings everyone and welcome to yet another edition of your favorite snowmobile show, Sledhead 24/7. I'm your host, Misha Johnson, along with my fabulous co-hosts, Mr. Paul Mack and Jeff Fisher, and we are here at Bristow's Power Sports in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And I don't know, if you've never been here, this place has it all.
This place is huge. It's got everything there is to do. And what we were doing earlier, Fish, we did a little riding, a little evaluating. Now we're back here to check out all the goodies.
Well, yeah, we got to see what we got. You know, we got our new sleds, we got our new equipment. Just like I like to say, another day at the office.
It is true. It is another day at the office. But switching gears here, recently we attended a Skidoo Avalanche Awareness course because, as we all know, you can never be too safe while riding in the mountains. Take a look at this.
So tonight what we're doing is a BRP tour. I'm teaching avalanche classes all around the country. It's avalanche awareness, avoidance, and rescue. And it's what to do to avoid getting caught in avalanches, what equipment works best, what to do if you get caught, what to do if someone else gets caught, how to analyze the terrain as far as trigger points, what is the stability, and how to determine where a good island of safety is and what your escape routes are. Let's start with the gear. You need to have a beacon, shovel, and probe, but better yet, you need to have avalanche education. Having a gear is one thing, having it with you, but knowing how to avoid avalanches, knowing what trigger points are, terrain traps are, knowing how to determine if the snowpack is stable, and then knowing these things first, you never have to use the gear. 5 big rules. So rule number 1 is 1 at a time on the hill. Rule number 2 is never go above your partner, get out of the way if you're down below. Number 3 is have a plan. Who's first on the hill, who's last on the hill, what's your escape route, and rule 4, stay in voice or visual contact. If someone goes around the corner out of the way and there's an avalanche, no one sees it. Number 5 is alter your riding according to the danger. High danger, we keep it to the lower angle slopes, the big open bowls. This is my 2nd year doing the classes with BRP. The response has been excellent. We are teaching all over the United States, anywhere from Wisconsin out to Washington. They're coming away with a lot more knowledge than they expected.
You know what, Paul? Such great information about the dangers and unfamiliar territory.
It really is, Misha. You know, I've been riding out west now for over 20 years, and now it's more important than ever, and I'll tell you why. The snowmobiles today are so capable of getting you anywhere and everywhere, and even for an experienced rider, you can get to places that you necessarily shouldn't even be at. So you got to be aware and alert and always watching for avalanches.
Absolutely. You want to make sure you know how to use your beacon, your probe, your shovel. Always know the telltale signs of the mountain, and keep your eye on your riding partners. Well, thanks so much, Paul. Stay right where you are, sled fans. Sledhead 24/7 will be right back.
Still ahead, since its introduction, the Polaris Rush has excited the industry. We'll show you why the latest version is by far the best. Our snowmobiles aren't the only thing that requires routine maintenance. We'll give our truck a tune-up with products from Amsoil. FXR has a new look for 2013. We'll ride with a pro that tells us why FXR is his gear of choice. And we'll catch up with Speedwerx as they begin the Sled-X build. Sledhead 24/7 is brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics, Polaris, terrain domination. Speedwerx, straight up USA horsepower. By GoPro, Be a Hero, and by Skidoo.
Welcome back to Sledhead 24/7. I'm your host, Misha Johnson, along with my co-host, The Fish, and we are here at Bristow's in St. Cloud. Now, coming up next, we're going to show you one of our favorite rough trail sleds.
Yes, the one we voted for 13 as our favorite rough trail sled was a Polaris 800 Rush. Pro R, that is. And I tell you what, it is the best Rush to date. For the rough trails, it is fantastic.
Well, let's see why the Polaris Rush Pro R is that good. Take a look at this.
Since its introduction, the Polaris Rush has been evolving and changing into a machine that's arguably better than the rest. Earning the Best-in-Class Rough Trail Sled Award from Sledhead 24/7 is something Polaris is proud of.
Well, we were really excited to hear that the Rush Pro R LE won the Sledhead 24/7 Best-in-Class Award for the 150 horsepower trail class. This is really an awesome sled. It is the best of the best amongst Rush. The Rush launched in 2010 and it really turned the snowmobile world upside down because it was just obviously a very different look. But Polaris just continues to develop and refine the sled, and for 2013, it's the 4th year of production, there have been tons of refinements that just take Rush to the next level. So you've got a new IFS that gives us flatter cornering and easier steering, new skis, new suspension in the Pro R limited edition model. We've done some refinement with the seats, so we have a wider seat now on most of the Rush models. It's more comfortable for long days in the saddle. And then the rear suspension has been tweaked to give the right balance of weight transfer and good handling. You need to try Rush. If you haven't tried it yet, you need to get on one. You just won't believe it. It'll blow you away.
The Polaris 800 Rush Pro R impressed us as it outperformed the rest of the class.
So we looked for some really tight, choppy, stutter bumps that I said earlier, it was a rock polisher. It was beyond words.
So we need something that's trail friendly yet, something that rides, has good power, but most importantly takes the big bumps, from ditch banging to just bumps.
You know, I think for me personally, because I truly have a different feel in the way I like to ride, I like to skip over the top of the bumps. I don't like to really roll through them unless the spacing doesn't permit it. I could actually go at wide open throttle over 2-foot stutter bumps, literally pinned wide open, and all it would do is just skip over the top and bounce. I felt like I'm more in tune with the snowmobile on the Polaris Rush.
The Polaris, this is the best Rush I've rode to date. This motor, this 800 from Polaris, this sucker has response, the clutching is on, the mapping is on, it is just nuts.
Polaris has refined the Rush to perfection. Stay tuned as we ride along on the Polaris Rush Tour with Levi LaValle and hear why snowmobilers love the Rush.
Best in class for 2013. Polaris is definitely on top of their game. All right, sled fans, stay right where you are. Sledhead 24/7 will be right back.
Still ahead, Amsoil has us covered. We'll give our truck a tune-up before our next road trip. FXR has a new line of mountain riding outerwear. Sahen Skinner shows us what's new for 2013. And Speedwerx starts on the best Sled-X build to date.
Welcome back to Sledhead 24/7. I'm your host, Misha Johnson, along with my co-host, the Mac, and we are here at Bristow's in St. Cloud. So, Mac Man, what's coming up next?
You are doing what we do best. We do a lot of riding, a lot of evaluating. So we go all over, East Coast to West Coast, all over the country, and it puts a lot of miles and a lot of wear and tear and a lot of maintenance required on our tow vehicle and our haulers. So we've got the little grease baby outside doing a little work.
He's, of course, talking about Jeff Fisher, who's getting all greasy doing a little maintenance on the truck. Take a look at this.
Okay, today we're doing a little maintenance on our tow rig. We put these rigs through a lot, pulling our sleds, our big trailers around the countryside. So today we're giving it a little love. We're using Amsoil products. And the oil we choose is the Amsoil OE. It's for all the older diesels as well as the new turbo diesels with the DPF, which is the diesel particulate filter in the exhaust, so it doesn't plug and soot those up, as well as the EGR. We use this in all our trucks, as far as from our chip turboed to just our regular stock trucks. What's nice about this oil, what I really like, is no matter what oil you have it is compatible with all petroleum as well as synthetic products. So it's just an all-around good oil to run in your diesels. To top it all off, we go with the Amsoil oil filter. Second to none is quality. Now after the oil change, we're going to give our diesel a little breath of fresh air with a brand new Amsoil filter. This actually filters better than stock, and what I really like about it, has a nice heavy rubber gasket to seal. The stock one is kind of a flimsy, you take it out, it falls apart. This one's a nice solid piece. You know, one more thing, while you're laying under the truck draining the oil and changing the filter, it's not a bad idea to put a little grease to some of the steering bushings and heim joints. Other than that, let's get this thing done. Okay, the oil's added, everything's done. All we got left to do, I like to run it a little bit, check the oil level, of course make sure the oil filter, everything, there's no leaks or drips. Other than that, we are ready to hit the road.
An Amsoil tune-up, I love it.
Nothing like it, Misha. You know, Amsoil has us covered and has you covered, whether it's something for your vehicle, an oil, an additive, a grease, anything for the 2-stroke engine, 4-stroke, Amsoil has us covered.
They sure do, but right now we're going to switch gears and we're going to check in with the backcountry pro, Sahen Skinner. He's going to let us know why he prefers FXR. Take a look at this.
I'm rocking the new squadron gear this year. It's kind of flashy. It's kind of the new school stuff that everyone's going with. So it's kind of cool for me to launch the squadron gear with it being my first year as well. Breathes extremely well. It's waterproof, it's windproof, and I'm super excited to be running the new stuff. Everything head to toe is fitting great. This year I'm rocking the new Renegade boot from FXR. It's extremely durable, it's comfortable, it's light, it's warm, has awesome traction, and I'm absolutely loving them. I like to rock the FXR Mountain Air glove. It's really light, has awesome grip, especially for when I'm on my turbo. I really gotta have the grip to hold on to this thing, it's pretty crazy. They're light, again, they're durable, they're warm. It's a great glove, and I rock them every single day. And also something really cool for this year, and especially for me, because I'm extremely picky about my helmets. This helmet is awesome. It's really light, once again. It breathes extremely well, but it's still very warm. It fits good. It's my goggles fit in it great, and it looks cool. So, especially for me this year, after I put my gear through the ringer each and every day, my boots, my pants, my coat, my gloves, everything, I couldn't be happier. I'm extremely excited to be part of the FXR team and really happy about the future.
No matter the climate, no matter the surroundings, FXR has you covered. We set up a link to FXR on our website, sledhead24-7.com.
You know what? If Sahen Skinner says FXR gear holds up, I'm gonna believe it.
You know, it really is. You think about those backcountry riders, Misha, how hard they are on equipment, how hard they are on their gear. They're going through the trees. I mean, it doesn't get torn up. It stays light, comfortable, dry. It is the best gear there is.
It sure is. And not to mention, they have all the colors and patterns you could wish for, even pink for our Paul. Stay right where you are, Sled fans. Sledhead 24/7 will be right back.
Still ahead, the Sled-X build has begun. Check out the trick new product Speedwerx is adding to the Arctic M1100 Turbo. Sledhead 24/7 is brought to you by FXR, world-class outerwear. Stud Boy, traction with an attitude. by Spy Optics, and by Articat. Share our passion.
Welcome back to Sledhead 24/7. I'm your host, Misha Johnson, joined with my co-host, Mr. Paul Mack, and we are still here at Bristow's Motorsports in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Now, if you haven't been familiar with our project build called Sled-X, let me tell you, you are definitely missing out.
It really is incredible, Misha. We keep getting bigger and better every year. New sponsors, faster equipment, faster add-ons. Sleds are better, new clothing. We're going out west in the mountains this year. This year's Sled-X project, this is the bomb.
It is the bomb, and right now, as I speak, Speedwerx is fixing his Articat into a mountain climbing machine. Take a look at this.
Hey guys, Jeremy from Speedwerx here. Today we're going to be doing the 2013 Sled-X build for Collin. We got a couple of special guests with us here today. We got Carrie Daku from Shox, and we got Chris Olin from Rock Speed Effects. So come on over by this table here. We're going to show you guys the products we're going to use for this build.
So for Collin here, the Articat itself comes with our Flow 2 shock. We're going to add our Evol upgrade kit. Collin was looking for something a little bit more progressive, endless bottom out feel. That's exactly what our Evol kit does. One of the extra benefits of having now the Evol adjustability is it's a personal preference setting. We can change his spring rate from a more linear curve to a more progressive curve. Again, all personal preference. It can be set up for anybody.
Well, part of Rock's Speed Effects contribution this year is going to be our Flex-Tech handguards and our 6 to 8 inch height adjustable risers. We're actually going to set the bars into the tops. So we're going to put the caps back on. There is no right or wrong way to put the cap on. And then you're tightening everything back up again. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking off these handguards, the stock handguards, and we'll be putting the Rock's Flex-Tech handguards on. So again, the advantage of the Flex-Tech handguards is that they bend and they move while providing coverage for your hand.
Amsoil is on board with us again here this year for the Sled-X build with all kinds of different lubricants, grease, chain case oil, stuff like that. We're going to be doing our aluminum charge tubes, our L2 lightweight muffler, the C&A mountain skis, our high flow air intake setup, Speedwerx clutching package. Can't forget our multi-map ECU mapping. Then we got Articat to throw in a tunnel bag and a goggle bag as well. I'm excited to get going on this, so we're going to head on over here and start tearing this thing down and get at her. So now we're going to install our Speedwerx L2 lightweight muffler. It's our light and loud series. We're going to save about 9 3/4 pounds, and we're going to pick up 10 horsepower just by installing this part. Putting charge tubes in, durability is definitely a deal with the charge tubes. The other thing is they dissipate heat better. They look a lot better. Just overall better product in every area. And the stock air intake system, you know, it is a little bit restrictive, so the turbo doesn't have to work as hard if we get some good fresh air down to it. And if it's cold air, it's just going to make that much more horsepower. So this will be sucking from outside of the hood now, up where all that good fresh air is. So just finished installing the chassis part of the multi-map harness. This is kind of the biggest, most important part of this whole build. Collin's going to have a map for 87 octane because these sleds require premium. If you get somewhere where there's bad gas, he's going to still be able to ride. He's going to have a map for 210 horsepower on premium pump gas. He's going to have a map for 240 horsepower on premium pump gas. And then we're going to give him the stock map as a default setting. Just finished installing that right here, and then we're almost done with this build. So we're getting ready to install the skis here on Collin's sleds. We got the new C&A mountain skis on this sled. Collin wanted to get as much flotation out of this thing as he can for when he's out in the mountains. So for the most part, that's done. The only thing we've got left now, we had Articat threw in one of these sweet rear tunnel bags. Fits right in place just like that. Real nice, real sleek piece. And then we're going to put in one of these goggle bags up here by the display too. This deal will pop and open, and it's got room for your goggles. It stays warm. Dries them out, things like that. FXR is going to deck them out in all kinds of new gear, boots, gloves, helmet, you name it. It's going to be hooked up with that stuff. Preston from Two7 Designs is hooking us up with a wrap for this sled. So we're going to start peeling the decals off, and we'll catch up with you guys later.
In the next episode of Sled-X, we reveal the sled to Collin and surprise him with a VIP pass to ride with the pros from Arctic Cat.
I don't know, you guys, I cannot wait to see Collin's face when he sees that snowmobile.
No, the thing is just fantastic. The sponsor stepped up big time between the clothing and Speedwerx and all the other sponsors that kicked in. This sled is trick.
Not only the ultimate Sled-X build, he gets to ride with some of the greatest mountain riders in the world, greatest mountain hill climbers, racers. He gets to ride with the cream of the crop.
I don't know, you guys, riding with the best in this business, he's got it pretty good. Well, that, unfortunately, is all the time we have for this edition of Sledhead 24/7. I'm your host, Misha Johnson, along with my co-hosts, Mac and Fish, and we want to give a very special shout out to all of our sponsors, as well as Bristow's. Make sure to visit us online at sledhead24-7.com and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you next time.
Next week on Sledhead 24/7, we'll catch up with Straight Line Performance as they field test the Skidoo 800 E-Tech. We'll ride with Polaris Pro mountain rider Sahen Skinner as he shows us how the changes to the Pro RMK worked for 2013. Speedwerx tests their products better than anyone. We'll show you how they use professional racers to tune and test their products in the mountains. And Shox can be adjusted for any rider. We'll show you how to redefine your ride dynamics. Those stories and more next week on Sledhead 24/7.